All right, it's time. What's up? That's a problem. Hold on a minute. Capture card. Well, what's up? Properties. Deactivate. Activate. No, what do I have to do here? It's like here, let me remove that. I'll add video capture. Capture card. Uh-huh. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Do that. Let me drag it down to its proper location right below the React Andy first. Then I'll resize it. Now I will set the audio to the appropriate level. Now we can get started. Let's go. That's the wrong menu to go to. I meant to go to online. Weather's pretty shit today, so I'm gonna try to pace myself, especially with the stuff that I'm talking about. Um, yeah. I have a couple news articles open about that. I have all like this. Yes. Okay. So there were only there were four things. Well, three big topics, and then one of the topics has a couple like branching aspects to it that I wanted to talk about. Who's ready for me to get the shit kicked out of myself? Hopefully there's people online. Hello? Anybody? I feel like there should be somebody. Okay, here's a few people. That's good, that's good. Alright. Nice. Let's go to go to yeah. Ah, they're playing this track. Okay. And it's still lap one. Let's let me see. But I wonder how would I want to start? Well, you guys know that I've talked about student loans on this channel before. You know, it was a big thing in the Biden administration, but also like people want student loan debt canceled. It's kind of insane that student loan debt is a thing that exists in the first place because education should be free. Higher education should be free at the point of service. You know, taxpayer funded, just like you know, elementary, middle, high school, like K-12 education. And unfortunately, the Biden administration really fucking dragged their feet with regards to the student loan forgiveness that everybody was asking for, especially since, like, unambiguously they had the authority to do that. But you know, they used a certain part of like the Heroes Act, and the Supreme Court decided, no, you can't do that, because they actually waited for the Supreme Court to say so instead of just doing it and then letting the Supreme Court deal with the fallout afterwards. And you know, then they tried the Higher Education Act of 1965 that explicitly grants that authority to just purge federal student loan debt. Uh, but the debt relief there has been extremely limited. They haven't really been forgiving all that much with respect to student loans. Why is that still open? Oh, I know why. Okay.
On February...
I'll close that. Sorry, that little leftist audio moment. Let's go to the thread here. Oh, goodness. Man, the weather is really getting to me today. Okay, so thread from the Debt Collective. This is the principal organizing group for people who want debts canceled. This is damning. Remember Mohela, the student loan servicer that gave the Supreme Court standing to knock down student debt relief? I don't remember that, but apparently these guys were involved in that lobbying. Okay. Since then, they've profited off of millions of borrowers by failing to perform basic servicing functions. So this was, I guess, one of the services that private loan admins were saying, like, oh, hey, you don't need to forgive the student loan debt because here's our own proprietary service that makes it super easy to pay, to pay those loans back in, like, very manageable installments and whatever. But as it turns out, they actually weren't helping, like, at all. Like, not even remotely. Which is not super surprising because they have a vested interest in seeing that loan debt, like, pile up and getting a lot of interest payments off of it. See. I just went for that. That was probably a bad idea in retrospect. I go back to the thread here when I have a chance. And have to use that. No, I'm dead as fuck. Okay. Oh, I know what you're supposed to do. Okay. I think I understand. Alright, Kopu. Just business. No hard feelings or anything. Wish I had gotten that just a scotch earlier. Ah. Take that mushroom. That's a little bit better. Yo, what's up? Globalize my agenda 69. Good to see you. I was just talking about student loan debt, but then, you know, this race has demanded some concentration and whatnot, so I'll be doing that. Anyways. The agenda is very global. Yes, that's true. Let's see. Mohela. Mohela Papers? Let's see. Mohela Papers. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, I was just talking about this group that was, like, this proprietary service for some of these, student lenders that was saying, like, oh, hey, Supreme Court, you should strike down this debt forgiveness because it's actually fine. We can help them pay back their loans just fine. You don't need to cancel that debt. But apparently, their internal communications playbook, according to this thread here, instructs employees to, quote, deflect borrowers away from call centers and customer service representatives, instead to self-service, quote unquote, and incomplete online resources, despite self-service being impossible for many issues borrowers encounter. Basically, like they are. Mohella is saying like, oh, let's help these. We can actually help them pay off their loans, but they're really devising this sort of red tape, like Rube Goldberg device to just pass the burden on to the student lender to pay off their own debt and be like, basically, you're on your own, and stuff like that. So their job is to make it look like they're helping while actually putting people further in the hole, and all the while, like, the interest on the debt piles up, and all that. This track. I see. Okay. There's another thread that they link to about this. I might get to that in a minute. Don't mind if I do. Ow. Alright. When I get big, I'll start using this. Very nice. Cool. That went well. Let's see, the next tweet in this thread says, re-asking at POTUS. Yeah, that's right. The Debt Collective was very active in asking the administration to cancel student debt and all that before, of course, the decision came through and the administration decided to sit on its hands about it. And there's another thread here. Mohella, a broken student loan servicer. They just explained that. Our biggest harm is gone now? Really? I'll get to that in a second. Broken student loan servicer that got student debt relief struck down by the Supreme Court has miscalculated nearly 500,000 people's student debt payment in the first month of repayment. We saw this mess coming. Why doesn't the Biden admin just fire Mohella? And they link to file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, one of the government offices that's supposed to be handling stuff like this. Yeah, so they... Not only were they sort of deflecting people and preventing them from actually being able to get rid of the debt or pay it off in an effective manner, they were also charging people more than they actually owed, which was pretty wild. More debt, hell yeah. Yeah, the debt economy is a fucking hell of a thing. Why do they do that? You won't own anything and be happy? Yeah, it's something like that. Notably, Republicans will sort of invoke that all the time, but the part that they take issue with, like a lot of the people who frequently
go to that don't take issue with the you will own nothing part. They take issue with the you will be happy part. In this case, we're living in a world where, like, nobody owns anything and nobody's happy about it either, you know? And of course, canceling this debt is actually even easier than I thought it was, right? Like, there's I don't know how much money, but there's a lot of money in the form of student loan debt, but you actually don't need that amount of money in order to cancel that debt. You need just a fraction of it in order to buy the ownership of that debt, and then you can just say, actually, you don't have to pay this anymore. That's how canceling debt works, generally speaking. And, like, that makes the failure of the Biden admin to do anything actually way more glaring. At least in my eyes. No, I didn't get a box. That's fine. There's a blue shell coming. That might be something. No! I went too far to the side on that mushroom. This track in mirror mode is a real, doozy. Just gonna use this. Oh, well, that helps. Why did he go around? Interesting. That was a perfect section, I think. Like, about as well as I could have done it. I'm just gonna start using these. Really miss Scratch do this. Follow him on TikTok, but he ain't the same. I don't know who that is, so. Let's see. Okay. People seem to share the sentiment that I had to offer on that. Yeah. Dude. I hate it here. Student debt fucking sucks. And the policy failure of the Biden administration, like, this would have been easily their biggest failure if it weren't for the fact that fucking October 7th happened and then the US just decided to support a genocide. That's the dude that got carried out by police after shouting slurs and thinks that EU is 2 times worse than the USSR and Nazi Germany combined. Oh, okay. That's the Lithuanian far-right politician guy. Okay. Yeah, rest in piss. You will be missed. El Bozo. A great loss to comedy, you see. Yeah, I gotcha. He got impeached a few months ago. No, we needed the funny man. I mean, it's probably for the best, but, you know. Yeah, get him out of there. R.I.P. far-right Lithuanian funny man who picked his boogers. Yeah, that's some content, that's true. It just doesn't quite hit the same as when he was, like, a sitting politician and just making an absolute fool of himself in front of, like, the whole country. Ah, not mirror mode this time. Whew. Crack knowledge is, Coming in clutch here. He got money from a local sports center to make an ad for them. He made a song where the lyrics were, "If you don't jump your F slur," that's funny. And also, that's, like, really dumb. Like, what did he think was gonna happen? Old news, he got impeached for calling random people slurs. Ah, I see. So far, so good on this track. Lost another LGBTQ person in politics. Rip. Yeah, it is rip. Damn. There goes my lead. All because of one blue shell. But hey, I only made like one glaring mistake that race, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. Then the next thing also having to do with corpos, and then I talk about like politician stuff. Let's see here. Kellogg and PepsiCo. Ah, yes. So a little while ago, there was a post where the Kellogg CEO was like, "Yeah, more people are eating cereal for dinner, and that's great for business and whatever." I think Biden is rushing to fulfill his campaign promises to be viable for re-election. He's not rushing, trust me. The CEO of Kellogg said that like, oh, people eating cereal for dinner is good for business because like that means people are buying our products. And of course, the reason that people are buying cereal to eat for dinner is because they can't afford other food because there's fucking poverty epidemic in America and shit like that. But if you can believe it, it gets worse because the CEO of Kellogg also said that like they like took it a step further and just said that like, oh yeah, people should eat like Doritos and cereal for dinner or whatever. Which is not only a bad idea, but also is just dystopian as fuck. And I'll get to the rest of it in a second. That's all the details I can remember right now. Oh, what the... I hit the off-road. I'm driving so bad. I don't know how I'm driving this bad, but I am. Ah, okay. Yes, Mega. Okay, cool. Ah, son of a... Oh, he tried to red me, too, afterwards. Hmm. I'm gonna get dead last. Or maybe not? Who knows? Oh, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, let's see here. Kellogg and PepsiCo are urging Gen Z to eat Doritos and cereal for dinner. Ah, it was even worse. They didn't just say, oh yeah, it's good that this is happening. They're saying, hey, you should do this because, you know, food prices being high is great, baby. That's good for our bottom line. You know, this is gonna actually bring about an even more serious epidemic of food insecurity in the United States, the wealthiest country in the fucking world. Like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. They hate you. Corpos hate you. This is not an exaggeration. They at the very least, in order to abide by policy decisions like this, fucking CEOs and executives and shareholders have to have like a seething disdain for the people who their policies affect, which in this case are disproportionately the very poor. USA is trying to get the most obese country in the world title. No, actually, it's the opposite. People are going hungry here. There's food prices are rising, which means people can't have as much food. It's the opposite of obesity. People are gonna starve. I bet obesity will increase. It won't. No! God damn it. Alright. Let's just focus on driving competently and hope everything else falls into place around that. So far, so good. Messed up that part. Yeah. That was probably a good place to use that bullet bill. Oh yeah, this is only a 2-lap track, huh? Oh, what the fuck? Alright, I'm using this here. Alright. The solution to him going tight in the star? Go even tighter. No, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have tricked. You gotta be kidding me, dude. I'm driving so bad. What is wrong with fucking brain today. Also, why are these well, I mean, I guess I don't really need to ask why. This is kind of an example of what I meant when I said, like, there are 6,000 and 7,000 players that can run circles around 9,000 players is what I'm talking about. These people don't have the, like, average VR is lower than 9,000 here. Okay. I want to take a second to address your to the thing more thoroughly about Biden supposedly fulfilling campaign promises. No, there is no incentive for Biden to deliver on his campaign promises. Not at least in the eyes of Joe Biden, in the eyes of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party's mandate has always been and will always be for the foreseeable future basically the same, which is liberal, like, tweaks around the edge policy making. And in fact, if anything, one of the things that makes me the most frustrated with Biden and the Democratic Party is that they look at the Republican Party, correctly identify that, wow, they have nothing to offer, and then use that as an excuse to sort of string people along even further, to do less. At least in the at the federal level with the the current leadership. That is the dynamic that currently exists within the Democratic Party. Joe Biden, if anything, is less willing to fulfill campaign promises now than he has been before, because the Democratic Party doesn't see any, like, they feel like the pressure is off of them because they think that things are like just how they've always been. They don't really consider the fact that the GOP openly hates democracy. They'll campaign on that, but they don't think they actually need to pass policies that actively defend democracy from the GOP, because in the eyes of the Democrats, the GOP are still like their respected colleagues or whatever. They're too civility brained to actually want to deliver on ideological platforms. That was a good place to use that mushroom. Ow. Is vote blue no matter who a good strategy right now? Well, considering there are only two viable parties and one of them is the Republicans, yes. Because there's like fucking the alternative to voting blue in this climate is voting third party, which will never yield any representation because this is a two-party system, which means only two parties can actually be viable at any given time, or voting for the Republicans, which would make you insane. So yeah. Nice. Obviously, you want to vote against the incumbent in the primaries to try to apply whatever pressure is available for the Democrats to move left. But, like, voting is not a viable... it's not like a reliable means of affecting broader change. It's not the most impact that you could have. You should still do it because, at the end of the day, one side is very, very preferable to the other. You know? Yeah. And of course, vote blue no matter who, although it's frequently used by centrists to justify centrist bullshit, it actually does work the other way around. If a progressive candidate gets on the ballot in a certain district, in a certain area where there's an election happening, then progressives, people on the left, can say, hey, vote blue no matter who, and the Democratic Party kind of has to fall in line. Unless they are so fucking spiteful that they do what I think the Democratic Party has done like 1 or 2 times, which is throw their weight behind the Republican candidate. It's been a few years, though, since that has last happened. I don't think they've done that lately. I think if the right-wing guy wins, wouldn't they be incentivized to move further right? Yes, and that's the incentive that we're trying to fight against. You don't fight against that incentive by not participating in the system. Like, by not voting for the Democrats don't give a shit if people don't vote for them. They give a shit if people do vote for them. And what matters is, like, the all of the stuff leading up to the election rather than the election itself. All of the local organizing efforts and whatnot. That stuff is way more important than just turning out on election day. Should you still turn out on election day? Yes. But ultimately, nothing is going to get the Democratic Party to move further left at that level. You just have to vote for the preferable option there. So no, not voting for them doesn't do jack shit to convince them, because in their mind, now you're a non-factor and they don't have to worry about you. What the Democratic Party does actually pay attention to, because I've seen this, is voters of theirs, part of their base, who are openly dissatisfied with their platform, but implicitly, you know, like without saying that the implication is kind of like, but I'll vote for them anyway. But like, goddamn, I'm not happy with you guys. And the people that routinely vote for you are not happy with you. Ah! Got him. Okay, that actually works out. At least I'm getting shocked here and not up there. I'll grow big by the time the shortcut... Yeah, there we go. Oh, somehow got fourth out of all that. Oh, here's another point for that. I was trying to think, like, if I communicated effectively, why, how the Democrats can be incentivized to move further left. You see, the Democratic Party actually does take a look at results down ballot. They notice when their more center candidates lose and when their more left candidates win. Now, the centrists have an ideological commitment to centrism, so they'll see that and think that, like, oh, well, the data is wrong. We simply need to have a stronger commitment and faith to our centrist positions. Kind of like what happened in New York. Democrats ran like the typical Clintonite bullshit, and they lost a ton of seats. But in countries, states, and municipalities where they ran people on progressive platforms, on more left-leaning platforms, they gained ground. They won seats. And so all the strategists who actually are interested in winning are going to look at that, and they're going to consider moving further left. But what doesn't happen is they look at, like, oh, these people aren't voting for us. They don't care about that. They care about the results here versus the results here. That is how the Democratic Party notices that they move further left. And you know how you get those results? You participate in the primary process. I've done phone banking for Democratic candidates. I've done phone banking for primary candidates as well. Pushing the Democratic Party to the left all happens before the general election even takes place, right? At the time of the general election, there is no pushing the Democratic Party to the left or to the right. That's such a big design flaw. What the fuck? You get respawn there and you just die. God damn. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Shock dodge. Such a good item pull for there. After this race, I'll get to the main thing that I posted about on social media that was happening in the Senate, because that's quite something. Oh, what the f- oh. Okay. I ended up getting an okay position. Interesting. So the one big story, the big one, Mitch McConnell. I mentioned him when I was talking about why are American politicians so old. He is the Republican leader in the Senate, but he won't be for very much longer. Mitch McConnell, the longest-serving Senate leader in history, who maintained his power in the face of dramatic convulsions in the Republican Party for almost 2 decades, will step down from that position in November. So right as the 2024 elections are happening, the Senate Republicans are not going to have the same leader anymore. This is like, well, it's significant. I don't think that this article has anything interesting to say on the matter. The AP article. This is mostly just a puff piece for Mitch McConnell, as demonic as that is. Oh no, here's something. Senator McConnell has been under increasing pressure from the restive and at times hostile wing of his party that has aligned firmly with Trump. So basically, this actually echoes something that I wanted to say about this. Mitch McConnell is a fascist like all the rest of the Republicans, of course, but he is kind of a holdover still from the neocon era of Republicans. And because of that, he's a lot more interested in proceduralism than some of his colleagues, you know? And he's more competent and a little bit less ideologically all in, if that makes sense. You know, Mitch McConnell's like he's part of the old guard, which means that he's not a full-throated fascist. He'll support them pretty much most of the time. He'll agree with like all their policies and stuff, but at the same time, he's like he's not like populist. He doesn't go out there screaming and whatever, because you know he's too old for that. What's going to happen, of course, is that somebody's going to be put into his position that is less critical of Trump and more willing to just fall in line with the majority of the party on like fascist policymaking that doesn't make any goddamn sense, you know? No, what the God, this track could do without this section. What I'm trying to get at is that whoever replaces Mitch McConnell will be more incompetent than Mitch McConnell. They're not going to, obviously they're not going to have the experience and whatever. But that is that's like a red herring. Experience isn't really what matters here. What matters is the willingness to engage with like institutionalism and stuff. And whoever replaces Mitch McConnell is going to be way less institutional than him. And as a result, they're going to basically it's going to be a pretty big shit show, like with the Speaker of the House with Mike Johnson and whatever. You know, not renowned for his masterful political like navigation skills and whatever. It's going to be, the Senate is going to be as big of a clown show as the House in just a few months, which means that the Republicans aren't going to even be able to put up a veneer of like principled proceduralist competence there either. And I think that's good. That's good for people who do not like the Republicans, you know, because you want to see them less capable of carrying out their objectives. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Nothing too interesting here. Basically, the reason that he's resigning is because he's dead on his feet. I've kind of talked about that. Everybody's seen the freeze up that Mitch McConnell had in front of the news camera. He's like had a stroke. It seems like something like that, or maybe he just saw death in the flesh and just kind of didn't know what to do. That's on one front. The Republican Party in the Senate is going to be getting new leadership, and that leadership is almost certainly going to be way less competent, which is one thing indicative of the decline of the Republican Party, which is music to my ears. But this story has another part, because there is another wing of the Republican Party that is going to get new leadership, and that is the RNC, the Republican National Committee. There's all sorts of different, like, party affiliated organizations and stuff. Basically, the RNC is in charge of their national campaigning, like with the presidency and setting the platform at a national level and all that sort of stuff. Nice. Hey, DKC for life. Welcome back to chat. Wooden plank. Very true. Ooh. This headline reads, RNC chair Ronna McDaniel will leave her post on March 8th as Trump moves to install new loyalists. This is happening even sooner. Damn. Ronna McDaniel's been the chair of the Republican National Committee for a long time, at least in terms of politics. You know, when everything tends to change every, like, what, 4 years? 2 years even? She's been there for, I think, 8 years or like, longer. And she hadn't been great, right? Like, her leadership had seen the Republican Party lose ground in quite a few places. But she's resigning on March 8th in light of, like, some parts of the Republican Party are dissatisfied at her because of her poor performance, which is a more typical thing for party officials to be dissatisfied with. But some of them are dissatisfied with her because she has been wishy-washy on whether she supports Trump or not. She hasn't been vocal enough in supporting Trump, and Donald Trump has openly floated the idea of replacing her with more directly loyal party leadership, which, you know, kind of just confirms what we all already knew, that the Republican Party is the party of Donald Trump. You know, he has a pretty solid stranglehold over the party in that sense. And I forget who exactly Trump was, like, nominating for the position or whatever. But like I said with Mitch McConnell, because he's also stepping down this year from the leadership, whoever they get is going to be almost for certain less competent than Ronna McDaniel or than, like, Mitch McConnell, right? So now that's two wings of the Republican Party that are going to have less competent leadership than they would have in other circumstances. Don't mind if I do. Dude, this race is hectic considering it's this track. Usually these races get super, like, spread out and stuff. Oh. Whoa, what? I've never seen that happen before. Alright, it is imperative that I get a box here, and I'm not gonna get one. So. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, that works. That works. Get me out of range of that Mega Mushroom, please. Ooh, that was close. Closer than I usually care to cut it. Oh, that actually kind of worked out. Huh. Give me this. Ah. Excuse me. Ah, goddammit. I raced so good that race. All for 6th place. Sparkling Image Car Wash. Welcome to chat. Very interesting name. Glad to have you. Let me see what this AP article has to say about this. Who was nominated for place? Yeah, here we go. The AP confirms what I love MKW in U.S. politics. Well, you're in luck because that's what I'm talking about. Pro-Trump MAGA movement increasingly blamed Ronna McDaniel for the former president's 2020 loss and the party's failures to meet expectation in races the last 2 years. I don't know if McDaniel could solely bear the blame for Trump's loss in 2020, but it is certainly the case that she hasn't been great for the Republican Party electorally, on the whole. I think okay. I think Trump nominated somebody from his own family to be the new RNC chair. Yeah, Lara Trump. Yeah. It seems like either it would be truly comical if Lara Trump became the new chair of the RNC. But if not her, then it would be somebody similarly minded insofar as being pretty committed to Trump and his base, ideologically effective or not. Because for the MAGA movement, I think the concern about oh, she's losing us elections is secondary ultimately to the fact that she's not loyal to Donald Trump. If she were 100% loyal to Donald Trump and but still lost them a bunch of elections, lost them a bunch of ground, I think they would be more willing to let her stay. But her giving any pushback at all was enough to sort of get her on the shit list, as it were. I know where I want to use this. And it's right here. Yes, and that is why. Oof. I was not going to get through that without that star. Or without a bullet bill. I'm going to start using this here. I don't really see a better place to use it. No! What the... Oh, that was a perfect fake item box. I don't know why they saw fit to hit me with it out of everybody. Okay. I have a star again. I'm probably just gonna chain it for the love of... Oh. Dude, that kind of worked. I'm shocked that that worked, but it did. Avoided that by a razor-thin margin. This track shouldn't be in the pack, man. I'm gonna wait till this race is done to offer the comments I had to offer on the RNC and the Senate and all that stuff going on. Oh, okay. So we have Mike Johnson as the Speaker of the House in since October of last year, right? then we get the news of Ronna McDaniel stepping down in March, which is about 6 months from that, give or take, about half a year, right? And then about 8 months after that, in November, we will have Mitch McConnell stepping down from his position as well. 3 people in leadership positions gone. Actually, I should have mentioned Kevin McCarthy. So that's 3 leadership positions in the Republican Party. Very high-profile leadership positions that are going to have new people, or that have had new people, who are decidedly less competent than their predecessors. And have made the Republican Party look worse and have stewarded its policy platform worse. And of course, that for me and for a lot of people is a good thing, because their policy platform is well, it's harmful. It is incredibly harmful and draconian and etc. etc. What is blood doing? So I think I'm not going to predict anything drastic like, oh, the Republican Party is going to be dead by XYZ date, but the party certainly is like on its way out in some respects. It is less and less able to put up the kind of staying power that's necessary for a party to like really be relevant in politics. They just have nothing to offer really. And they, you know, for a fascist party, that is pretty typical. But when I say nothing to offer, that like includes the fervor and stuff. Usually fascist parties do their thing by way of like whipping people up into a reactionary fervor and like making them go crazy and shit. But the Republican Party can't even keep that up. B Hints has it out for me also. Fuck that guy. He was already in a mega. He didn't need to slow down and hit me, but he did. Probably only gonna do like an hour and a half today. I don't think I have it in me for the full 2 hours. Yeah, I guess to cap this all off, I will say that the Republican Party is sinking itself in the House. The Republican Party will be sinking itself in the Senate, and pretty soon the Republican Party will be sinking itself at the RNC level, at the national campaigning level, you know, for like the presidency and stuff. So, you know, Pack Watch RIP Bozo in advance. I don't know how long that's gonna be, but like certainly it's coming. And of course, I've seen Democrats blow this before. Like the, you know, incompetence of the Democratic Party is not to be underestimated, and whatnot. But hopefully, enough of a progressive push can be made that the Democratic Party will like finally realize, oh yeah, what if we just push the Republican Party into the grave finally, where it belongs, in the dustbin of history. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, I gotta use this golden pretty soon. Okay, that works. Ah, I see. No, I didn't get a box. That's lame. Asshole? Why'd you do that? What's up, Tony Pizza? God damn. I swear these people are stream sniping. There's no way you would do this otherwise. You'd have to literally be the biggest loser on earth to like be like, yeah, I'm gonna go out of my way to do this just for fun. Like, who the fuck does that? Oh, hey, shock dodge. Into the best item. Oh, I'm gonna get like 6th again. If that. Alright. God damn. Let's keep going. Oh no, Trump isn't appointing Lara Trump to the RNC. He's going with somebody else. Watley? Who's this? North Carolina GOP chair. Okay, but ultimately still a Trump loyalist and fucking incompetent. This is one of his like claim to fame within the MAGA movement was like, oh yeah, I hired a shit ton of lawyers before the 2020 election to prevent fraud and shit like that. Yeah. You know, if anything, I think the choice for Trump being the like RNC, not RNC, the North Carolina, so NC GOP chair is like even more indicative of like an incoming failure potentially, because like it's not just, oh, this person would probably be incompetent from all reasonable expectations. It's like, no, we have evidence of this person being incompetent because they like they you know, did the whole, oh, the election was rigged and stolen shtick in 2020 by hiring a shit ton of lawyers and whatever. You know. Good thing I have this red shell. Spoke too soon, I guess. But, nice mushroom here. What do you think of the illegal immigrant crisis? I think that the U.S. needs to have an actual policy framework for taking in immigrants. And there's, like, it's fucking stupid that we don't have that, you know? Because the United States is the wealthiest country in the history of the world. And we actually need immigrations to boost population numbers. You know, the U.S. is a developed country. We actually don't gain population unless immigration happens. So whatever happens, the solution needs to allow immigrants to come into the United States. I think, in fact, they should have stronger legal protections, too. Because a lot of the farm labor, the manual labor that gets done that's essential to the U.S. food economy, to the service economy, and whatever, is done by undocumented immigrants. And they get paid slave wages for it. They are constantly under threat of deportation. And all the while, they're paying their taxes to the IRS. And, you know, they pay sales tax every time they buy something. But because they don't have their papers, they're not allowed to get benefits from, like, essential services and stuff. And, of course, it lets companies get away with some insane shit. So, there needs to be a lot better asylum system in the United States to process immigrants, and the U.S. needs to basically have the framework ready to take in almost everybody that comes in, because there's so much room for the United States still to grow, and immigrants are going to be the backbone of that. You know, they're already a massive benefit to the economy just because it's so much new, like, people coming in, people who will then potentially get an education and become part of the workforce, become productive, and spend money, and things like that. You know? And of course, the alternative is either the current situation, which is, you know, they fucking languish in cages and we spend billions of dollars doing what? Sitting on our goddamn thumbs? Like, no thanks. Or we send all the immigrants back to their country where they will most likely be shot dead within the week. You know, like, there's only one real policy answer here. Anything else is a, like, unserious gesturing at some sort of moral virtue that doesn't actually engage with the subject. So that's what I think about the immigration crisis. I think immigration is good and based, actually. Immigration is cool when it's legal. No, there is no such thing as legal immigration. Whether immigration is legal or illegal is totally down to a social distinction. Like, even people that come to the country legally are still turned away by border police. There are, like, designated ports of entry and whatever. People are still deported from those ports of entry, and they're, like, arrested, detained before they can even get there. Legal or illegal immigration is purely a matter of whether you want to say that immigration is good or immigration is bad. You know? It's like how jaywalking is basically legal, but, like, on the books it's technically illegal, like, in the most fucking vague and technical possible sense. Like, yeah, it's against the rules to walk across the street when there's not a crosswalk, but, like, if you tried to punish somebody for that, you'd be out of your fucking mind, because there's that social distinction that we think that, like, what the fuck kind of harm are you doing when you're crossing the street, you know? But because the right wing has had such a stranglehold over the discourse in the United States, because Democrats have offered no fucking pushback, they've decided that crossing the street, that's whatever. But crossing an arbitrary line in the sand that doesn't actually have a street, that's no bueno. I actually got told off by a policeman for jaywalking 2 days ago, lol. El Bozo, get fucked. Yeah. Oof. Look at that knuckle crack. Aqua Dungeon. Aqua Dungeon. Ooh, do I even know what this track is? Oh, yeah, it's this. Okay, okay, okay. I understand. Draw the short straw here, it seems. Yep. This is a good place to use this, I think. Maybe. That certainly avoids some of the more inconvenient parts of the track, which is nice. Oh, come on, dude. Really? You're in third. God damn. I need an item. Whoa, what? Whoa, whoa, where's the bullet taking me, dude? That was wild. Never seen a bullet do that. Dude! Things are not going my way this stream. Alright. What the hell? You just use the shock, man. Yes! Hawk dodge. Okay. This, I think? What do you think about NATO countries sending troops to Ukraine? I think it's like, well, it's not happening, is it? I think it would be a good idea, potentially. It can be done correctly. It could also be done poorly. Yeah. Obviously, you have to be careful because you don't want this war to escalate more than it has. They just said it can't be ruled out, pretty much. Yeah, okay. Then they're not actually gonna, not anytime soon, I think. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a, troop movement expert or whatever, so I don't know how you would do that correctly versus incorrectly. But if they were to do it, I think it would be, Potentially good. It could potentially be good. It could potentially be bad as well, which is probably why they're hesitant to do it. But like, you know, a priority is to sort of push the Russian military back at least a bit so that Ukraine can join the EU and NATO more formally, and that way you can sort of resume a much more normal development cycle in Eastern Europe. It also gives a soldier's experience. Yeah, that's true. And I think NATO is already helping train troops that will then go fight in Ukraine, just not sending NATO troops. They're like training Ukrainian troops and stuff. Fuck's sake, dude. Can't drive today. I have to drive this perfectly to have any chance now. Alright. I'm gonna use this. What? Dude, that bullet was going absolutely insane. Alright, I'm gonna chain this. Be so funny if you had to end stream. Why? Chaining it again. Give me the shock or something. What? Somebody has to be holding the shock up there. Oh, this is a perfect spot. Let's go. Back in it, baby. Kind of. Why did it drop me there? And my drift didn't come out either? That's so dumb. Streamer 1 end stream, go to streamer 2, they end stream. Oh, well, I am about to end stream in like 7 minutes. No, I literally pushed the button as the shock was happening. That's so tragic. Alexa, play Despacito. Yeah, lol moment. I'm just not feeling it today. The weather's really bad. I'm, like, really off in terms of, like, my driving ability and stuff. Nah, you're not getting me with that. Alright, no. You fucking asshole. God damn, dude. I swear. Ah! I pulled it together so well laps 2 and 3, and then fucking guy decides that no, actually, I'm more interested in screwing over the guy behind me than, like, actively maintaining my position. Ah, that's frustrating. Mario Kart Wii is truly a Sisyphean video game. Dude, people pick the same fucking tracks every time. Jesus Christ, pick something interesting. There's like a handful of sweat lords that are always like regulars in these rooms, and they always pick the same like 20 different tracks. And then there's the one homie that hits the random button and it picks something actually interesting. Shoutouts to what was that guy? Mike? I think I remember that. His name is Mike. Alright. What? Why? I don't get it. Alright, I'm just gonna use this here. Oh. Whoa, what? Huh. Excuse me. I'm just using this here. Better do this time? Okay, that's faster, but it doesn't get me an item, so... Oh, okay. Managed to go inside of that fake item box, which was crazy. Sure. Ooh, okay. Good spot for the shock to happen, I think, at least for me. Hopefully some people pass me into lap 3 enough so that I get like a good item. Maybe. Oh, damn it, I didn't mean to use that. Okay. Well, that's better than nothing in terms of item usage. I'm gonna get redded here for sure. Somebody behind me almost definitely has a red shell. Or not. I just need to drive like a god gamer. Yes? Okay, third. I will take it. Probably got time for one more race before I am so tired. Cool. It's unreal. The weather being fucking liminal, gray, goopy, rainy bullshit outside is making my brain go all sorts of different directions, and none of them are coherent. And none of them are helpful to me. God, it like doing some like video editing shit this morning was so tiring. Alright, random. Stop voting for Infernal Pipe Yard. It's not a good track. Big Nature City is pretty cool, though. Last race has 12 people, full room. Interesting. Marble Towers. This is a good one. Hopefully I don't drive like shit again. That'd be preferable. I'm starting in third this time, so I'm a little bit closer to the front. Oh, whoa, okay. Didn't quite work out how I hoped. Some people are getting owned by the bananas back there. Yes, got an item. Oh, wow. That actually worked out, kind of. So far, so hectic. You see Garasimov debunking the death allegations, Lamau? What? Death allegations? Like, you go ahead. You have a red shell and I don't, so... God, I've been driving really well and I'm in 6th? God, kidding me? Alright. No, it's the second one. Oh my god. That's so bad. Unforced error. Alright. Alright, cool. Oh, what the wacky ass starting section. I was so positive I wasn't gonna make that I wasn't ready to make it. Okay. Well. And I made so many correct decisions only to end up in this fucking position. You gotta be kidding me. I'm not satisfied with that. Fuck it. We go one more. Ukraine says Gadazimov was in a building they bombed and no one has heard from him since then. Interesting. I don't know who Gadazimov is. Russia released a video of him visiting the front lines, and the vid was clearly from the summer green fields, trees covered in green leaves. Interesting. So if that's one of the senior Russian commanders, that could have some pretty significant implications for the course of the war. Maybe. Not like, oh, this changes everything, but like targeting Russian leadership and like when one more element of your military leadership gets decapitated, then that's definitely significant for like that makes conducting frontline operations a lot harder because you have to find somebody to replace them and it like slows things down. Just claimed he died months ago. Okay, then we would already see the effects by now. Yeah. See, look at this. Big Express City, Piranha Plant Pipeline, CTR Cortex. He didn't have an interview since. Yeah, so he's dead. And that's it. It's the same tracks every single time. All right. Every time. 0 public appearances from him ever since the attack, though Russia is claiming he's alive. So he's dead. Yeah, you've already communicated that. Okay, barely avoided those bananas. Wikipedia says he is dead. Yeah. You know, Russia's never been especially good at, like, putting out convincing disinformation. Their specialty is putting out disinformation in such large quantities and with so many varying viewpoints that it effectively muddies the waters on what people understand to be true. It's just like sowing the seeds of doubt is all they're interested in. They actually, like, they don't need people to believe that he's alive. They just need people to not be sure, like 100%, that he's dead. Ow. All right, Mike. In second now? Okay. I think I'm glad I'm here and not first. Or third, also. Ow. That shock screwed me specifically. Only by a couple positions, though, so that's okay. Wiki says it was debunked by the BBC. What was? The fact that he's dead, or the disinformation from Russia that's saying that he's not dead? All says he got some award, and I can't find a bit of him receiving an award. So he's dead. I'm a little bit more satisfied with my performance that race. I can end it there. If he let's put it this way. If he were alive, then video would exist of him being alive in the several months since the alleged attack that killed him, right? Like, if Russia is putting out propaganda on the fronts and whatever, that video would exist. But since it doesn't exist, he's dead. Like, that's the only reasonable assumption you can make. Anyways. God, what a fucking frustrating stream. Anybody live? Nope. Nobody. Okay. No raid this time. I'm just gonna hop off. You guys, maybe Friday? No promises. I look, maintaining a consistent stream schedule is like, meh. It's kind of difficult, and like, have to be mentally prepared every day to be talking head for a couple hours. But you know, maybe Friday, maybe not, but we'll see.